This is episode number 69. Live a fulfilling life and learn how to avoid regressive problems. Welcome everybody to another episode here at Body and Mind Transformation by Custom Body Fitness. This is your health coach, Sandro Torres, and today we are going to be talking about how to live a fulfilling life and learn how to avoid regressive problems, because you need problems in life and you always want to be finding problems. So it's very important that you actively create problems. Those problems that you create are progressive problems, and that's how I explained it right here. The way that, for example, if you drink, if you don't take care of your health, if you don't take care of your family, and the problems come out, such as example, you lose your job, you're not efficient at work, you develop diabetes, or you start fighting with your significant other and you're getting divorced, those are regressive problems. You are creating those problems because you're not taking care of your family, you're not taking care of your health and work and so on. Progressive problems are when, as an example, you have a lot of energy because you're healthy, you exercise a lot, and you can't sleep at night because all the energy that you have. Well, that's a progressive problem because now you have extra energy and time to spend with your family or read or do other things that help you progress. If you invest your money in apartments and now you can control all of them. Like before, let's say you had an apartment and you take care of everything and it was enough because your tenant was good, your tenant is good, and you can take control of everything. Every single phone call, you just call somebody if there is anything wrong with the apartment, and then that the person that you call comes and fix whatever. So that doesn't need a lot of energy of you, but all of a sudden you have enough money and you buy 10 apartments. Now there is so many phone calls, there is so many things to fix, and you have a couple of not good tenants that you have to deal with it. So now there is a problem, but that's a progressive problem because they're giving you money. So now you need to hire somebody who's going to take your spot. You need to pay that person, but you're going to have more free time. Now you're going to make money, and now you can, out of that money, you can continue investing, and you're going to create problems that way. Or you have a coffee shop. You open a coffee shop and you have a lot of clients and you don't have enough staff. So now you have a problem. You have to staff your coffee shop. But that's a good problem because you're getting a lot of clients and you're making more money. So those are progressive problems. So it's important that you learn that. Another thing is that I'm come from a very, very poor family. I live in the ghetto. And I never dreamed in my life to have such a fulfilling life. And I'm not talking about money only. I'm talking about everything. Like my soul, it's very happy. I'm closer to God than I ever been. And that makes me super happy. It's not a belief. It's you really have to know how that feels. You really have to give your life to God. So I'm rich in that area. I'm super happy. I wish I can be so powerful and strong like Gandhi, as an example, Mother Teresa, because I can only imagine how fulfilled their heart were when they were alive, because there were so rich people, spiritual rich, such as Buddha. They're amazing. Once you're in that stage, you are rich in that area. But at the same time, with my family, I never dream of creating such a wonderful family that I have with my daughter, my wife. We get along pretty well. I love my daughter. It just fulfills your heart. It's hard to explain it, but I didn't do that only by it just came out of nothing. I have to create everything. I have to get there. Also, my career, I love it. I make more than enough money. I have for travel, for buying my the things that I like, my hobbies. I give money away and so on. But once again, I'm rich in all areas of my life, not because it just happened. It's because I created everything, and I want that to happen to you. And that's the reason why I made this talk. I talk about three things. The first thing is about what do a human being needs to be able to be fulfilled. What are the levels that you go through and what levels you need to fulfill? So it's important that you learn that, because once you know that, you're gonna create your day, your week, your month, your year based on that. That's gonna be your priorities. And that's the next thing that I talk about. You need to divide your life into areas which are gonna be priorities, such as I do, and I pay attention on that areas because I need to fulfill that. Once I fulfill that, the next step is to avoid regressive problems and create progressive problems. And also I explain how you are gonna do that, how you can maintain all the areas where you're gonna be rich, where you're gonna be fulfilled. So when any crisis or anything happens in life, you are prepared and you don't go deep into a depression, and you continue with your life moving forward. So without further introduction, let's go and listen to the talk. At CBF, we know that for you to change your body, you need to change your mind. Exercise and eating healthy is only part of the plan. We care about our members as we care about our family, because our members become our family. It is not about competition, but support. It is not about being the strongest or the fastest, but about you defeating your negative self. It is about working together and making the task challenging and have fun. By the end, what matters is not how hard the session was, but that you take control of your mind so you can take control of your body. My name is Sandro Torres, and I'm happy you are part of our family. Welcome to Custom Body Fitness. Right now, I'm gonna help you how to overcome those problems. But before we go to the topic and teach you everything that you need to know to actually overcome these problems, you need to know a couple things. Problems are normal, they're not normal. So there is nothing wrong with you. If you think about it, I don't know how old are you, if you're 20, 40, 30, 50, 60, 70, if you study your life, if you study history, if you study the world, you're gonna notice that there is always problem after problem after problem, and we need to fix those problems. So that's not abnormal. So that's the first step that you have to learn. The only break that you get from a problem, and this I hear this from another guy, is that when you have a crisis. So you have problem, and then you have a crisis. You have problem, and you have a crisis. And I learned as well that the only thing that you can do is you can't get rid of the problems. You can become a better person. You can fix the problems by becoming a better person, by acquiring more knowledge, by acquiring more skills, by becoming wiser, by becoming better every day. But the problems are going to continue coming up. And the wiser you become, the problems, the smaller they're going to be, those are going to be easier. But the bigger problems, you're going to become even better than those problems. And that's how you actually start fulfilling your life and being happier. Because you know you can overcome almost any problem. You can think about people that are actually very happy. They're always smiling, they're always doing the right thing, they're always happy. They're looking in the positive side of life. So these people, they don't seem to have problems, but they have a lot of problems just like us. The only difference, they know how to live life and they have become a better person. They have a positive attitude in life. And I think the positive attitude in life does help. Telling yourself that today is going to be a good day, that everything is going to come alright, that having faith, having trust, all that helps. but I don't think it's the whole equation to the problem. There is a lot more for you to actually have a positive perspective. And this is what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you these concepts so you know how to handle these problems. And by the way, this is very important for weight loss. And why is important for weight loss? The reason is because if you think about it, many times you have dropped your weight loss program, so you have gained weight because there is problems coming all the time. Either you're getting divorced, either financially you're losing your job, or you don't have the money, or your health is deteriorating, or you have a disease, or you got an ill, or you got injured, or your car is not working, or you're fighting with your significant other, or you need to travel to a different country to fix something of a suit that is going on. There is a lot of things, there is problems, like I said before. So if you don't know how to deal with those problems, most likely you're gonna gain weight. It's very important for your weight loss, because once you understand that, problems are not gonna get in the middle of your life, and you can lose that weight and keep it up forever. So now that I say that, let's go straightforward to the concept that I'm gonna teach you. This is very important. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give you a quick insight on this. Please bear with me, because this is very important. And then I'm gonna tell you how I divide my life, so you can do the same and understand how to overcome those problems, be happier, be a better person, be stronger, be optimistic, lose that weight, achieve your goal, make more money, have a united family, and continue moving forward in your life. And by the end, not only be happy, but be fulfilling in your life. Not only rich, but wealthy in all areas of your life. If you notice, there is basic needs in the human beings. The first thing is the physical need. Then after that, we're gonna have the emotional. And then after that, we're gonna have the acceptance. The next one is gonna be material. These are the basic needs. For here, as an example, in the physical need, what we need there in the physical need is food, we need shelter, we need to shower, we need to be clean, we need to eat, we need to drink water, we need to go to the restroom. Those are the basic needs. We need to exercise for us to feel good and go to the next level. The next level is emotional, spiritual need. That's a very important level, which is where you feel safe. When you're doing the right thing, when you're helping people, when you give your life to a superior power, that gives you the sense of peace within you. When you feel in peace, you can climb to the next level, which is acceptance. You must feel accepted by other people. And when you feel accepted by other people, you can climb to the material area. In the acceptance area, sometimes we get lost because we're going to get accepted by the wrong people. And when we are accepted by the wrong people, we learn their habits, their bad habits, and then we get stuck because we can't go to the material one. The material level is when we start looking for the material things, such as clothing. We're talking about cars, we're talking about house, we're talking about a bigger house, better car, better clothing, and things that we want to acquire for us to continue moving forward. There is nothing wrong with this, with any of those levels. Like I said, sometimes in the physical need, we get stuck with alcohol. Sometimes in the emotional need, we get stuck by just being controlled by our emotions without understanding that we can control our emotions. And the acceptance, sometimes we get stuck once again by being accepted by the wrong people, not understanding that that's not the people we're going to be accepted by. And the material, once again, by acquiring all material things. When we only fulfill those needs, what I mean fulfilling, just eating, drinking water, exercising, going to the restroom, sleeping, when we just meet those needs, instead of spending a lot of time on the gym just because we're gonna have the best body, only because having the best body because we wanna be the high life of everything, and we get stuck with that. We take steroids, we become huge. Or for the woman, they're not happy with their body. Once they look great, they have those abs, they have those nice legs, and they become anorexic. That's when the people get stuck here. And the emotional area is when we just are suffering in depression, and we not, instead of suffering the depression, get out of there and start helping people. We can get stuck there instead of being grateful for the things that we have, instead of taking for people how we can give to people. If we do the negative things, we get stuck in the emotional. The acceptance, once again, when I explained that just a couple minutes ago, and the material thing, instead of having just a car to drive to, there is nothing wrong with having a better car or a better house or nothing like that. I think there is a lot of people who have achieved those great goals, and they are they can do it. They have grown so much, they can have those better houses, better cars, etc. And the problem is when we try to compete with those people and we don't have the resources, that's when we get lost there. Instead of being happy with what we have, and when we get the resources to actually buy a bigger house, a better car, so on, that's when we are able to do that. But in the meantime, when we don't have those resources, we get stuck there trying to maintain that lifestyle by buying a better car, a better house, better clothing, better trips, and so on. And we just work to keep that material life, and we get lost right there. When we can spend that energy into become a better person, and that better person is going to give you that resources to improve a material area. So many people get stuck in those basic areas, in those basic needs. So I want you to keep that in mind, because we're going to talk a little bit about this, so you know how to deal with problems. So the next one is going to be the learning level. And the learning level, it's when we start learning so we can teach, which is the next level, teaching. Then the next level is the caring, and the last level is our purpose. So let's talk about those levels real quick. So those 4 levels is when the people who transcend, people who have become great, people who are helping, people who are rich. Not only we're talking about money, we're talking about rich in family, rich in emotions, rich with God, rich with money, rich with in their careers. They have a lot of knowledge. The people who are there are people who are in this level. So let's talk a little bit about the learning level. If we don't learn whatever career you choose to, whatever thing you want to learn about, psychology, law, medical field, technology, anything, you can teach. So you need to actually learn to be able to teach. The problem, once again, right here is very difficult for people to get stuck. Super difficult, because once they get into the learning process, they know they need to continue learning for them to continue progressing. And when they start progressing, they start teaching. And when they start teaching, they start caring about others. And when they start caring about the others, they notice they have a purpose in life. So when that happens, when they know they have a purpose in life, that's when they transcend. That's when their life become they're fulfilling with themselves, because they understand they're not just living for living. They're not living just for the physical need because they want to be the best looking person, or they're not stuck in their depression. They're not stuck in whatever they understand that not everybody's gonna accept them. They understand that even though they're doing the right thing, there's gonna be people that are not gonna like them because they're doing the right thing, because they're being straightforward, because they don't share political views with other people. They don't share other views with other people. They're staying in their principles, their values. They're very moral people. And because they're that type of people, they understand there's gonna be people that are not gonna like them, and they're not looking for them to be accepted by everybody. So they're just accepted by the people who have the same principles, values, and views. This is where people get stuck, and this is where people actually transcend. So keep that in mind. Now I'm gonna tell you about another thing that I apply in my life, and it goes attached to this concept. The thing that I do, I divide my life in 5 areas. You can divide it in different areas, and you can put whatever is important for you. So let's talk about how I divide my life. The first is my spiritual area. Then I have my family. Then I have my health. Then I have my profession. Then I have my finances. And the last, I have that's my 5 priority areas, and then I have my relations. Okay, so for example, that's how I divide my life. Now, there is people, they do other things such as hobbies. There is nothing wrong with having hobbies. But for me, as an example, these areas are very important. There is, like I said, there is so many hours around the day that you can take advantage of. So now that I say that, as an example, every day I am very thankful. I'm very grateful for the things I have. I meditate. I picture my future about where I want to be, what I want to achieve. If I made a mistake, I ask for forgiveness. I call the person, or I ask God for forgiveness. I give money away to charities they need. I listen to people from the bottom of my heart. I do the right thing. If I make a mistake, I always ask for forgiveness. So that's my spiritual area. So I have so much time throughout the day that I can do that. How much time I can meditate, I be grateful all the time for the things that are happening, but I do give a specific time to be grateful. 15-20 minutes a day, I do meditate for 20 minutes. I go for a walk to clear up my mind. So I spend around hour and a half, maybe 2 hours in my spiritual area every day. Then my family area. My family is not big, so in that area I'm not very knowledgeable. The only things I have right now is my brother and my animals. So I spend time with my animals most likely. And I have not much to say in this area, but that's what I can tell you. But if I had a family, I would be very devoted to my wife, and I'd be very devoted to my kids. I'll spend time with listening to my wife and see what I can help with. I'll spend time with my kids, teaching them how to do their homework, teaching them the things that I know, and listen to them and play with them. In the health area, right here, I do a couple things. First, I make sure I eat healthy. I give myself time to prepare my food. I give myself time to eat. I give myself time to choose the right foods. I exercise an hour every day. I also write and meditate. That helps with my health as well, because it does clear up my mind, and that gets me stress away. Then I have the profession area. In the profession area, I experiment. I learn. I take courses. I read. I watch documentaries. I continue moving forward with my profession by learning more in every single area of my profession and my business. My finances, going back to the profession, I spend at least 1 hour to 2 hours understanding my profession, understanding what I'm failing, what I need to learn, what classes I need to take, what books I need to learn, and so on. So I spend around 1 to 2 hours there as well. My finances, I check my finances all the time. I see where I'm spending my money, where I'm throwing money away. How can I save that money? Where do I need to spend it? When I spend it and invest my money, I spend it in my spiritual, my family, my health, my profession, and my relations with my friends. And the rest, sometimes you have some left, I spend it in something else, but usually what I do is invest it, because I want to make sure I'm not stressed out about money. Relations. My relations is with my friends. We don't go drink, we don't go party, we don't talk about other people, we don't watch movies just for watching movies. What we do, we talk about how we're gonna help each other, what are our plans. If I have a problem, he or she listens to me. If she or he has a problem, they talk to me about their problem, and I see how can I help him. If I can give him advice, I give him advice, and so on. So let's go back to the problems. So this is what happens when you have problems. Sometimes you have spiritual problems. That means that you're relapsing. That means that you're taking the wrong path. That means that you're becoming weaker. That means that let's say you are a rehab alcoholic, and now you're relapsed and you have a drink and you notice that you're drinking for the whole week. That's a spiritual relapse. That's when you need to go back into your path with your spirituality. Sometimes, once again, your emotions, you go into depression, you lost somebody, and you're depressed, and you can't get out of that depression. You dwelling for more than what you're supposed to. You're going into this difficulty. You have problems in this area. Okay? So sometimes your family is ill, or you're getting into a divorce, or you have a fight with your significant other, or your kids are sick, or there is many things that can go wrong within the family area. Now, health, you might catch a cold, you might injure yourself, you might have an illness, a disease, anything. So that's a problem on the health area. Profession area, you might lose your job, you're not doing good on your business, you're not with the trend, you're behind, you're not acquiring knowledge, you might have a problem in your profession area. Finances, because of any of these problems, you might need to spend extra money, and you notice that your finances they're not going good, you're losing a lot of money. And instead of investing, you put in a lot of money on those losses that they're going into the other areas. If you notice, now that you know you have different areas, like we talk about, you divide them in different areas. Sometimes we have problems only in the spiritual area, but all these are great. The family, we're happy, the family are happy, the family are healthy, you have enough money, but you had a relapse. Sometimes your health, you know what, you need a knee surgery, and your family is good, your profession is good, your finances are good, your spiritual area is good. So then you have a problem in your health. All of a sudden, you know what, something happened and you got sued in your business, so anything like that, and you have to spend a lot of money and your finances going down. But guess what? Your spirit's up, your family is great, your health is great, your profession, you continue moving forward. So if you notice, you're now dividing your problems in different areas. It's not always the same area that's getting affected. However, sometimes when we have a crisis, guess what happens when we have a crisis? The crisis is when we get hit in the spiritual area, we get hit in the family area, we get hit in the financial area, we get hit in the professional area, and only one area is safe. That's the only area that your health is doing amazing, and all the areas you're doing bad or crisis. Your finances are bad, your health is bad, your spiritual is bad, your family is bad, but somehow you manage your profession. That's a crisis. Okay, so now that you know, that you notice how you divide your life and how you can have problems in different areas, I'm going to tell you something else. It's called about maintenance. Think about your car, think about your house, think about anything else. Everything is maintenance. Let's say you drive your car 50,000 miles without an oil change, without checking the suspension, without checking the engine light that went up, using the worst gas, not doing the tune-up, just only changing the tires and the windshield wiper. What do you think is going to happen to that car in 50,000 miles? You think the only thing that you need to do is an oil change and change this, check the suspension and maybe do the tune-up? Your car might be messed up by then. Maybe you need to change the whole suspension. Maybe the engine is completely broken. There could happen a lot of things to that car. Maybe you need to spend a lot of money into that car, or maybe you need to get rid of that car and buy a brand new car. And the reason is because you don't give any maintenance to that car. If you give the maintenance that you're supposed to give it as you go along with that car is gonna last you forever. So the same thing happened with all your areas. If you maintain your spiritual area, so imagine a line. You have a line, and you go a line straight, okay? Within that line, you have from the line is 0. If you go below, it's of course -1, -2, -3, and so on. If you go above, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you think is gonna happen if you maintenance your spiritual area every day? Instead of being on 0, you're gonna be on +10. Guess what happens when difficult moments come and when you about to relapse and when you relapse? You go to probably +1. You drop from 10 all the way to +1, but all of a sudden you continue going up and you're going up to 10 again. But if you don't maintenance that, you think in negative and in zero, what do you think is gonna happen? You're gonna go to -10. You're gonna drop very down there. And that's gonna affect all areas. If you notice, your spiritual area is gonna affect your family, your health, your profession, your finances. Your finances it's gonna affect your profession, your health, your family, your spiritual. Your family, if you have problems there, it's gonna affect your spiritual, your health, your problem, and your finances. Every single area affects the other area. So if you drop down to negative 10, it's gonna take you a lot of time to get to zero. But either you maintenance that spiritual area, or you continue neglecting it and you drop again to negative and you never get out of the negatives. The same happens with your family if you don't take care of your family. The same happens with your health if you don't take care of your health. If you don't exercise, if you don't eat healthy, if you overweight, if you have diabetes, if you have the gout, if you have the gout, if you have any other disease, if you don't do something to take care of your body, if you don't start eating healthy right now, the right foods, if you don't start exercising, if you are in zero or probably -2, what do you think you're gonna drop when a crisis comes? You're gonna go all the way to -10, and you're never gonna be able to go. That's when you see that you never get out of the hole, because you never maintenance that. As soon as you feel better, let's say you have you have diabetes and you say, no, my health is bad, I don't eat healthy, I don't exercise. But you know what? The doctor can fix this. You go to the doctor, you take a pill. What do you think that's gonna happen? You were in -7, the pill is gonna cover that. It's not gonna cure anything. It's gonna cover your disease, but it's gonna help you to go at least to from -7. It's gonna help you to at least to go to -2, so you can survive. But since you're not in the positives, you're gonna drop again to -10. And what's gonna happen when you drop to -10? You go to the hospital and they just give you a quick fix. You may go up to -5 and you're gonna drop to -10, and you're gonna continue dropping if you continue the same cycle until your body gets up. So you need to get your health. Go exercise, eat healthy, exercise, eat healthy, exercise, eat healthy, exercise, eat healthy. Do it all the time. That's maintenance, that's maintenance, that's maintenance. And guess what's gonna happen when you get a cold? Or when you eat for any reason the wrong food, or when you get injured, you think you're gonna drop all the way to -10? No, because you've been actually taking care of your health. You might drop to +5, to +4. But guess what? You're gonna navigate that, and then as soon as you start maintaining it and continue, when you get out of that problem, you're gonna go to +10. So that applies to all areas, to your finances. If you spend money like there is no tomorrow, and you don't have money, and you just living paycheck by paycheck, that means that you are in zeros, right? A crisis happen anywhere. Your finance is gonna get affected. You're gonna go to -10. You're gonna be asking for money. You are going to overload your credit cards. You might lose your home, your mortgage. You may lose your car. You may not have food to eat, or you might not have money to buy the food to eat. You go all the way to the negatives, and then what's gonna happen? You're gonna start working. You're gonna do whatever you can to get out of that debt. You may go to -1. You may lose completely your house, and you may steal a couple $1,000. You may still owe a couple $1,000 on your credit card, or a little bit, or you may not be in debt. You may be in debt with the bank or something like that, and you never get out of that debt because you never get into the positives. But what happens when you start taking care of your finances? When you invest the money where you need to invest it, when you stop spending the money on things that doesn't matter, such as beer, such as alcohol, such as buying things only for buying it. There are things that you need, there are things that you just buy for buying it. When you want to buy a car that you can't afford yet, when you take care of your finances and you are in the +10, when a crisis happens, you're gonna drop to probably, once again, +1, +2, +3. whatever positive it is, but you're going to stay on the positive, and you continue maintenance that, and you're going to go again to positive 10. So my point out of this is you need to maintenance every single area every day, and that's when you need to spend your time. If you're spending your time partying, if you're spending your time drinking, if you're spending your time watching TV, if you're spending your time navigating the internet only because of it, if you spend your time talking to your friends about things that don't matter instead of coming out with a plan to become a better person, if you spend your time neglecting your family, if you're spending your time only sleeping until the last minute that you can sleep, if you spend your time being lazy, you're not maintaining this, because there is only 24 hours around the day. If you're not maintaining these areas, they're going to suffer. So if you want to become a better person, if you want to be better, if you want to acquire more skills, what you need to do is maintenance all these areas. So when problems appear, you are prepared, you are ready. Those problems, they're nothing for you. You can overcome those problems because you have become better. You have all the resources. Because problems are gonna come once again. The only thing that you can do is become a better person. So put this in practice. You're gonna have problems no matter what. So the only breakout of those problems is gonna be a crisis. The only thing that you're gonna get rid of problems is by you becoming a better person. Your good attitude helps, but the best thing is to understand life. For you to understand life, you have to understand that you can't be stuck in the 4 basic areas: physical area, spiritual area, the septon aliens, the material area. You need to go to the four areas of awareness, which is learning, teaching, caring, and purpose. Once you get into that, you have to divide your life into 5 very important areas: your spiritual area, your family, your health, your profession, your finances, and your relations. That's the 6, by the way, which I already explained. But let's focus on those 5. Within those 5, you have to maintain those. That's how you become a better person. You have to spend your time on learning about those areas and practicing those areas. Be ready for the problems, and always keep yourself in the positive, so when those problems come, they don't do anything to you. Okay? So remember, put this into practice. It takes time. It's not gonna be a thing that is gonna happen overnight, but it will happen as you go along. You'll see how you start shining, and you start becoming a better person, and you're gonna become happier. Please share this video. Share it with your friends. What we're gonna do, we wanna reach 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Help us do that. We're gonna continue putting a lot of videos for you to continue losing weight, get in shape, and know how to live life and be happier. Because the reason why you are losing weight is because you want to be happy. Talk to you next time, and thank you for watching. Okay, so there you have it. That's the talk right there. So let's do a quick summary. Remember that for you to be fulfilled, for you to transcend in life, there is 8 levels in life that you have to fulfill. One of them is the physical level, then is the security level, then is the septon level, then is the material level. Be aware. Don't get stuck in any of those levels. Don't put a lot of energy on those levels. You just need to do the basics. You just need to fulfill the needs of those levels so you can go to the superior levels. Once you go to the superior levels, you're gonna be super happy. I promise you. I try this, I do it, I apply in my life, and people who are very happy and successful in life, like I said, you know what I'm talking about, success. They fulfill all these levels, which is learning, teaching, caring about the other, and finding your purpose. Then you need to divide your life. Divide your life into your priorities. For example, I do God, my family, my health, then I do my career, and then I do my finances, and lastly, I do my relationships. So that's how I divide my life, and I make sure I fulfill those every day. And lastly, know how to maintain those areas so you don't create regressive problems. So that's the summary right there. Please share, like, comment, and thank you so much for continue following. Thank you so much for being such a great follower. I hope you continue with us because you're getting great information, and we're gonna continue uploading and recording these talks for you. And remember, my message is stay mentally, physically healthy and close to God. And we'll be tuning in the next episode.